From assembly, the scopes move to the testing and the nitrogen processing area. Each scope is loosened and then placed in a pressure tube. A vacuum of 30 inches of mercury per square inch draws out all the moisture-laden air.
We guarantee our products for life, but the reality is it's more important to guarantee performance, because if you're in the middle of nowhere, there's no FedEx showing up to replace your rifle scope. It's got to work. It's about quality and performance.
For the NRA show that just took place, we are getting a lot of positive feedback over the last year about doing custom shop runs.
Welcome to Beaverton, Oregon, head of Leupold and Stevens, better known to most consumers as the Leupold Company.
Hey, thanks, Gene. You take care.
Today we're going to take you inside and kind of show you the story and take you through what really is an incredible story of American manufacturing, ingenuity, entrepreneurship, risk. You go to 1907, Fred Leupold is a manufacturer of survey equipment. Fast forward about 30 years later, his son Marcus is on a hunting trip and using some of that equipment as a rifle scope. What happens to the scope is on this trip it fogs up and they think to themselves right there in that moment, I can absolutely do this better. So they begin building scopes on weekends and nights, and then here we are 2019, and this is the brand that every single person knows and loves. If you want a premier rifle scope, this is the place that it happens. So I've got Nick here with me from Leupold. Nick, I want to know how we're going to go from this to an actual finished product that's up there on the shelf in the warehouse.
Right, yeah, we're going to walk you through the process on how this actually becomes a precision optical instrument, right? It's pretty crazy that we just start with this bar stock and you end up with that premium scope at the end.
And this bar stock comes in every single day. Like, you guys have a constant process.
We use a ton of aluminum. We're actually the second largest consumer of aluminum on the West Coast here.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's too, like, the lightweight of the scope. It's all aluminum inside too. We're making the internal parts and external parts too.
We're gonna do it today in an expeditious fashion. So let's go from here to upstairs and find out how we get that finished product.
Sounds good. It's actually a pretty long process. You know, you can do maybe 7 or 8 of those per hour. Yeah.
So pretty incredible to me that we go from that to this. Like, how is that even? I mean, I understand that a CNC machine makes it possible, but like, this is incredibly light.
Right.
Like, this not so light.
There's a lot of material coming off there, but the lightweightness of the scope is one of the keys to behind Leupold, right? And then these main tubes are coming off there, and each one is getting hand checked at this station, right? That's what he's doing right there.
Right.
They're gonna get deburred, they're gonna get cleaned up, they're gonna get looked at to make sure that that main tube was built to the spec that we lined out.
Interesting stuff. So we go from this, and then what happens?
So from that, we're gonna go to some parts finishing. That's about 95% complete. There's a couple other things we gotta do to it to get it ready for the anodized process.
So the scopes come out of the CNC machine a moment ago. They get checked for specs and tolerances and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
And then these look like they've been through that room, which is bead blasting.
Correct, the bead blast room, right? So we're gonna take all those external parts, we're gonna get them ready for the anodized process by bead blasting them. They got that nice finish now. This is kind of the most fragile stage too. You can't touch them or anything like that. Can't get your oils on the parts, so. Yeah, and then they'll go get anodized and you'll have that nice matte black scope that you're used to seeing.
I think one of the things that's really interesting to me is the multiple touch points as we go through the factory.
Yeah.
These products are all touched by so many different people, so many American hands, and I don't know why it's so impressive to me, but the room behind me where they have these 6 different laser engraving machines, every single Leupold product that comes through gets touched by one of these machines in the guys in this room.
It's just a lot of craftsmanship, right? And yeah, these guys are in here. These parts have come back from anodized, and they're gonna put those laser marks that you see on the scope.
I'm gonna grab one right here. So like, this is exactly what I'm talking about right
so
there.
you got the logo, the serial number, a barcode on there, all that good stuff. So we're even talking dials too. Everything that has a mark on it is gonna go through this room here. It takes 700 American workers, right, to make these scopes. It's, yeah, just like you don't turn on a faucet and automatically scopes start coming out.
Right.
There's a lot of ingenuity and a lot of craftsmanship involved for sure.
Really incredible.
Yeah.
So basically we go through all these processes, engraving happens, anodizing's already happened, all that fun stuff, and now this is like some super crazy moon space hypersonic cleanser.
A scope is a magnifier, and if there's any kind of dirt or debris in there, you're gonna see it in the system, right? So in the clean room, that's where we're gonna assemble all the scopes together into that finished scope that you would get out of the box, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. We'll give you the clown shoe ones.
All right, all right.
Awesome. That's all we need. So you can see the parts getting prepped and going through the various stages until it's a almost completed scope right at the end of this line.
And then it's literally like looking at a wall of scientists. And I think you're
Yeah,
right. I think that a ton of people in their mind are thinking, you know, assembly line, conveyor belt. It's just, you know, robotic arms doing all this work. And it's not. It's, I mean, they are, by the time we get to this point, and it goes boom, 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 like there's almost a completely finished scope coming out on the other side.
Exactly, and not to say, you know, they are using some high-tech equipment on the line here, but it's all by hand, right? And they're putting it together. And yeah, by the time we just got the parts that kind of look like a scope, and you know, 20 feet down that way, that's a completed scope on the other end there.
Crazy.
Right? Crazy. So we guarantee performance, and we want to make sure that that product performs when it comes straight out of that box. We have a lifetime warranty. We're pretty sure you're never going to have to use that warranty because we do those checks here in this final area like this, right?
That's crazy. Can we dunk them?
Yeah, let's dunk it. Yeah.
So it's 100% waterproof.
And this pressurizes it too. So it not only dunks it, we're pressurizing it to about 33 feet, 1 atmosphere of pressure to really ensure that those seals are intact on the scope.
Many of the tests that go on here at Leupold, I would argue, are extremely rigorous. This test that's happening right now for this particular rifle scope's in a 9-hour test mode where they started it out at 77 degrees, left it there for a couple of hours, took it up to 160, dropped it down below 40, back to 77, 160, and then again to minus 40. And let me tell you, there's not a lot of things that are more difficult on products than temperature. When you go from extreme freezing cold to extreme heat situations, a lot of products will fail under those conditions, but they know by the time that they ship this to you, no chance. The amount of touch points that Leupold goes into when it comes to making their product is just staggering to me. Like, there's so many ways that they can cut corners, so many ways that they can, quite frankly, cut costs. And you're watching it right now, one at a time. They're looking through, analyzing every single small detail. It's really an incredible process. It feels really special. Like after watching the process unfold and watching it happen, like actually taking this
New appreciation for the scope coming out of the box, right?
An insanely new appreciation for what's in this box.
I think we're fiercely loyal to this brand, mostly because we can believe in it. We're not just here building something and telling people it's great. We truly believe and know that it's great, and I think that's what makes it pretty unique.
If you go back into our history and read some of the old ads and, you know, some of the voices of the people back in those days, a square deal was always quoted. And we just want to be fair and offer them the best possible product for the best possible value, knowing that it will hold up and it won't let them down.
Well, we have over 700 employees, you know, right here in Oregon. And, you know, we've been making rifle scopes here for 70 years. And we've learned a ton about that. And the one thing that we've made a commitment to is that any optic that you're going to put on any firearm of any type, and you're going to look through and pull the trigger, that moment of truth, that it has to be made in this factory by our people, by our team. And so we got 80 engineers looking at product. How do we make it better? But it's this uniquely American company. No one else is even close or does what we do. And it's truly a competitive advantage for us. I mean, it's a big deal.